Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, July 14th. Taking a look at the morning charts here, we've got the US dollar index. This is the 60-minute chart. And yesterday, we pretty much saw the US dollar move sharply lower, and that really helped spur on commodities. It really didn't help much of the equities market. The first wave down on the US dollar did help boost equities in the early morning, first couple hours, and then we pretty much saw the equities market roll over and sell down for the remainder of the session. So far, late last night in pre-market trading, this morning we're seeing the US dollar try and find a bottom here, stabilize a bit, and more or less we've had a nice move down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it either trade more or less sideways in this range for a little bit, or possibly even bounce up. I would anticipate it coming up to this resistance zone somewhere over here, and this moving average, the 50 period, will work its way down, and that'll end up acting as a resistance level. We could actually see the US dollar come down, make a double bottom, or actually head even lower. And of course, if we do see the US dollar hold up today or move even higher, then we'll see a little bit of a pause in equities and commodities, I would think, and then once it starts to fall again, then we'd see another move higher up in stocks and commodities. Now, just taking a quick look at the crude oil chart. This is the daily chart. We had a pretty good little bounce back right off that support zone. It just came down, and more or less in overnight trading, it had a pretty good bounce. Not during regular trading hours, so it kind of happened overnight while everybody was sleeping. We saw this sharp move up. Now it's right back at this resistance zone, which is the 50 period and a previous high here. So we're just going to see how that more or less plays out. Overall, in the grand scheme of things, it feels as though we could be forming some type of head and shoulders pattern with a neckline, and we could see a little bit of a bull flag form in here and eventually break to the upside and move to an upward target of $110, $112 a barrel, which is also a previous resistance zone here. So that's kind of where we stand on that. I do like crude oil for the longer term, and it feels as though it's trying to shift. It's yet to really break the previous highs here, and it's trading under this majority of this noise back here in May and June. So it's still under key resistance zone, but it is showing signs of strength, and that it could be forming a base or inverse head and shoulders, of course, with an upward target of $110, $112 a barrel. Looking at the gold chart, just zooming into the gold chart here, I pointed out in last night's report, we've got a new high just made. We had a previous high right here, and now we're getting another high. We've had multiple days of an upward thrust without any pullback. Last time we saw something like that was right over here. You get this move up, and it made for a little bit of a high. We had a nice pullback before it continued, and again we had another push to a second high over here with a similar amount of days and rising volume on the move. And we also saw another upward thrust over here where it made a high and possible other highs before. Each time a new high was made, we saw a little bit of selling. So that's kind of where we stand. The question is this more of a bull flag and we're going to see an extended run without any pullbacks, or are we going to get some selling coming in? We'll see it move back down to a support zone, go up, make another high, and more or less become choppy in an upward channel similar to what we saw back here in previous times, and again back here also, which ultimately led to more of a sell-off to really shake the market out of the commodity, breaking well below these previous lows. So we'd see it actually pull back even sharper to the 1440 area. I know that's not what people are looking for, is everybody's bullish on gold, but it's just something we got to keep in mind. Really, we've had to move straight up to a new high with multiple days of rising volume, and really we want to see some type of pause or pullback for an entry point, as opposed to just jumping in after a multi-day run and a break to new high. That's usually after that you get some type of pause or pullback. You don't really want to just jump on and chase it. So that's kind of where I stand with that. As for silver, the silver daily chart, we're getting a continued move up this morning. If we just zoom in a little bit here, you can see we've broken these previous highs right back here, a pretty key level, and it's pierced that. It's right back down, trading below it right now. But I think once it clears this base, which you can extend it more or less right over here also, if it breaks this base, I could see a possible target of 46, 44 pretty quickly. With silver, it could easily run up, which happens to go right somewhere into this kind of gap window right here, which is also resistance right above it. So we could see a nice thrust up that way. I'd like to see some type of pause and pullback, and just same as gold, and see some type of pause before we jump in. Silver has had, on a percentage based move, a strong move up in the past couple sessions, and the fact that it's breaking some previous highs and piercing this base high means we've got a good chance for a nice upward thrust going forward. Taking a look at the VIX index, which measures volatility and fear in the market. This is a 10-minute chart showing the past 3 trading sessions, and what I'm kind of seeing here is more or less we saw the VIX run right up to a key level here. Lots of fear in the market, came back down, ran straight up, actually went a little bit higher, meaning there's a little bit more fear than the last time, and we saw it pull right back again. And then yesterday we saw it run right back up to an actual it beat out the previous high, and this is a sign where you get more or less a broadening formation, and that's usually a sign of weakness on the chart. The fact that it's just scaring more and more people out day after day, looking at it dropping substantially, and this is usually a topping pattern. You can almost pretty much short any new high that it makes. I like this pattern on a lot of different investments, including the VIX. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out today and what the market is going to do. I did see a little bit of interesting price action, or not price action, but volume analysis yesterday on the NYSE. We had quite a bit of selling on the NY on the stock market in general, but the NYSE actually showed relatively strong volume and buying volume, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because it seemed as though somebody was accumulating a lot of brand name stocks, anticipating a big move to the upside yesterday. So I'm wondering if the big money is accumulating brand name stocks, anticipating that we're going to get a breakout to the upside, and then everybody, the herd more or less, will pile in buying all the brand name stocks that they want, and drive prices higher. So it's going to be really interesting. The fact that we had that, and the this broadening pattern on the VIX is pointing to higher prices for in the near term if things play out according to plan. Now, just taking a quick look at the daily chart of the SP500. Just zoom into a couple recent candles here. The past 2 candles we've seen on the SP500, they've been these like firefly candles, like with these red little bodies down near the bottom. These are actually reversal patterns, candles that point to higher prices. You'll usually see the opposite near market tops, and a lot of times once you see this type of pattern that we have right now, what it means is prices ran up in the day, they ended up selling back down, but there was buying intraday, and the fact that we had a higher high again and a higher low is a good sign. So we may still, if we just zoom out here a bit, this is where I pointed where I think we could be possibly trading at right now, which is similar to this pullback where things become very volatile, very choppy, and after a nice run out of a bottom, that's kind of where we stand right now. The question is, these past couple of days, are we going to get the buyers stepping in here in this volatility, this volatile market here, and see it continue higher, or is it going to shake everybody out and drop down a little bit lower down to the previous breakout zone to test it again before going higher? So that's kind of the key question, and any day we're going to wake up here and we're probably going to see a very strong move in one direction or the other. I am pointing to higher prices, but when you're trading near these buying dips in an uptrend, things do become very volatile, just like we saw back here in April, and you got to expect to weather the storm, which is why we scale into small positions on dips. And because we have a small position, quarter or half position, we're not too worried about large gaps or movements during this volatile time, because we don't have a full-size position in place. Anyways, if we take a quick look at the futures market, see what's happening this morning in the SP500. Yesterday, if I just move over a bit, yesterday you can see we had a nice run up in the morning, and then more or less through the afternoon it went sideways, eventually broke down and closed down near the low. After the market closed, we had a little bit of downgrade on the market, and it caused a little wave of selling there. We saw the market drop pretty sharply, but in overnight trading, it's continued to go back up, and right now it's more or less trying to form this base. Even from yesterday's open, you can draw this line almost straight across here. And it looks as though prices want to go higher. There's been some good, it doesn't look like much volume because it's pre-market, but there's some good buying early this morning, and also there's some good buying going on as we speak. So we'll see how things play out, and with any luck, we'll see prices continue to the upside and actually see the bottom really get put in place. And once the short covering kicks in, there's going to be a pretty strong move to the upside, because not only will it be short covering, but those people will want to go long as well, meaning they have to buy back their shares to get their account to break even, and then they have to buy even more to go long. So you get this short covering effect, which usually sends a large surge of buying volume, and it really pushes the market up to get the momentum higher and higher. So that's where we stand right now, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye bye.